So I have Vanessa Hamilton here from Talking the Talk, Sex and Health Education.
Hi, how you going?
Good. I love catching up with Vanessa because we always cover the interesting topics and some that are completely relevant but not all often spoken about or broken down so easily. And for me, diversity is something that I'm exposed to every day. I'm fortunate enough to live in a very diverse community. And I know that it's not a topic that's that straightforward. I mean, are we going to sit here all day?
How long have we got? It can take ages.
But I think, I would love for you to break down for us, I guess, what do we mean when we talk about diversity? What does that exactly mean, and how can we make sure that we're being aware of, our surroundings and our community and being inclusive, but how do we also educate our little ones?
That's a really good question, and parents are really confused. I mean, to start with, lots of parents haven't had adequate sexuality education in the first place. So when it comes to sexual diversity and understanding all the words that come with that, people can get quite confused. But we can sort of simplify it down into 4 basic parts of human diversity. And the key point you just said there is about respecting differences, because humans just aren't the same.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own unique version of sexuality. Everyone's thumbprint is different on this planet, and everyone on this planet has a different and unique version of their own sexuality. World Health Organization have a fantastic description of what sexuality is. It's not about sex, it's about so much more than that. And to break it down as far as diversity of humans, starting with, what's the first question we ask when a baby's born in the family?
Boy or a girl?
Is it a boy or a girl? Well, that's decided by the adults in the room at the birth. So they look at the genitals of the baby and they decide if it's a male or female based on that. That in itself isn't that simple. 98% of the time, humans are born with a set of sex characteristics that are typically male, what is expected typically of males and what is expected typically of females. And those sex characteristics are hormones, chromosomes and anatomy. This is simplified, remember.
Yeah.
However, 1.7 to 2% of humans are born where their set of sex characteristics don't meet that typical expectation. And we commonly would turn that intersex.
Okay.
And that may not be diagnosed at birth. So I'll oversimplify this, but we might decide that the baby's got a vulva and a vagina, they're female, and it's not till later on that we realise that they haven't got ovaries, for example.
Wow.
Very simple.
Well, how would you know unless you look for it?
Right, there's 40 different things or so that can cause that are related to intersex, and it may not be that diagnosis might not come till later until they can't get pregnant, or until they're having blood tests for something else, and then we notice that their hormone profile is different to what would be expected for female.
Okay.
Again, I keep oversimplifying. It's not a medical show.
Yeah.
So that's sex assigned at birth. And then there's identity. Gender identity is different to genitals. Okay, so someone's identity and how they feel within themselves about being masculine or feminine or male or female is their own innate internal sense. And there is a percentage of the population whose gender identity does not match that was assigned at birth. There's also a percentage of the population, their gender identity doesn't match the 2 options that we give of male and female.
Not as straightforward as we think.
Do you know some of the terms we would use for gender identity? I'm going to test you now.
Oh gosh, no, put me on the spot.
Transgender,
of course,
gender diverse,
yep.
gender fluid, non-binary, binary meaning there's only 2. People whose gender identity does match that was assigned at birth, we would the term used is cisgender.
Okay.
Parents are shocked often to find out that people's gender identity and sense of who they are is often known by the time they're 3 or 4.
Wow.
So if I say to you, or I say to adults, when did you know you were the gender that you are? So if we think that through, most people say, well, I've just always known.
Always, yeah. I think it's probably more obvious for the people that don't feel like they fit into what they've been told.
That's absolutely key, correct. Yeah. There's no difference. So they've always been told. Yeah, then people say they're told. Kids will say in classes, they'll say, well, you just look down. That's how you know your gender. Looking at your genitals, but that's your physical sex. That's not your gender.
Right.
So this sort of diversity is part of being human, has been, always will be. Now, some people will be sitting there saying, well, I don't agree with that. I think that people's gender should match their sex assigned at birth, and that's okay to have that opinion and those family values, as long as they don't harm other people.
Else,
because the actual facts are that humans are diverse. Nobody's the same. So that's gender diversity, sex assigned at birth, gender diversity. Then there's gender expression, and that's how we express ourselves to society according to the expectations of masculinity and femininity in society. Talk to kids about gender neutral uniforms, for example, and they'll often come up where girls will say, we're not allowed to wear the shorts or the trousers. Why not? If someone wants to express themselves however they feel comfortable, they should be able to wear an item of clothing that suits them. That causes a lot of debate in our society as well. Some people say, no, absolutely, only girls should wear skirts. People should be able to express themselves however they like.
Do you think schools, I mean, obviously, you know, we're talking little people, but my little one's going to kindergarten next year. Do you think that is shifting? Is it changing a little bit?
Well, it's definitely shifting, as you can see in products that can be purchased for kids. It's about colours. And, you know, little grade 3s and 4s will say, why does big brand have in their shops girls, boys and boys and girls clothes? I bought this top in the girls section because it's you know, this colour, and I love it.
I had that today. I was gravitated towards something for my daughter, and I went, oh, it's a boys section. And I thought, no, but actually, just because it's got boy on the label, hang on a minute, she can wear that.
She's a child, wear a jumper.
She's a child, she wants the jumper.
But our social construct is that it should be a particular way, and that's restrictive of people being able to express themselves. And so that's sex assigned at birth, gender identity, gender expression, and then we talk about people's sexual orientation, who they're sexually, romantically, spiritually attracted to. And the majority of human population would say they're heterosexual, male to female attraction. And then a significant part of the population would say that they're not heterosexual. And there's numerous versions of that. Homosexuality, gay, lesbian, so that's same gender attracted, pansexuality, and the kids know all these terms, by the way, because it's relevant to them. Pansexuality is just being attracted to another human, regardless of their gender expression, their gender identity. Asexuality, not experiencing sexual desire or intent, and numerous others. Again, there's always been terms of this as long as human history. Humans are unique. We
are very, very unique, and I think, as you said, that's really explained it very well.
Has it? Because it's very complex, and I have oversimplified it.
You have simplified it, but I think we do need to know the basics, and I know it is much more complex than that, but I think, you know, to be able to support your little one no matter what, and be aware, and as you say, I love what you say, that, you know, it's okay to think what you think about something, but as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, and that's the one thing I hope to instill in my little ones as well.
And so our family values are this. Out in the world, you know, if you're talking about gay marriage and those sort of things, explain it to them. Why are other adults debating it? But the key issue is we respect other humans regardless of who they are, and we should actually celebrate diversity and celebrate everyone's uniqueness, and that's what kids really are fine with it. It's the adults that are...
It's the adults, so true. Well, hopefully we're moving in the right direction.
I think we are.
Next generation. Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.